On this one take, we're talking about one of my all-time favorite set of lenses. To this day, so much shooting has happened, I still have a soft spot for these lenses, and they are the Cooke Panchro Classics, but now in full frame. Let me tell you a little bit about these lenses. These lenses are a modern reimagining of a very popular set of lenses from back in the day called the Cooke Speed Panchros. Now, at one point in time, I read this fact too. This is at one point in time, between 60 and 70% of all the productions that were being shot in Hollywood were on the Speed Panchros. So if you thought of a cinematic look, to be honest, at one point you could almost track down a cinematic look in a period to a very specific set of lenses, which is very cool. Now, the original Speed Panchros covered Academy 35, didn't really cover Super 35, so when you try to convert some of those lenses, there wasn't enough coverage in the rear to go all the way to Super 35. So, Cooke came out with the Panchro Classics, which they took their recipe, they modernized them and made them all consistent in terms of color. They enlarged the rear image circle, so now they all covered Super 35. They were great. We had a set of those. They were amazing, shot a lot of stuff on them. But as we've all now moved into larger format size sensors, Cooke has come out with the full frame version of the Panchro Classics, which is incredible. So now all of these rear image circle cover full frame and beyond. We've put these on the Raptor, they cover just fine. We have 7 focal lengths available here. Only 6 are here because we haven't quite received our 18 yet, but it's a 18, 25, 32, 40, 50, 75, and 100. They're all T2.2 except for the 100 is a T2.8. And full frame, it's really not gonna make that big of a deal, especially now with how great and sensitive the new sensors are. That extra little 3/4 of stop isn't gonna make much of a difference, when you balance out ISO or if you just light everything to T2.8 in general. Now, what makes these special? Hard to put a finger on it, but the way these render skin tones, the softness of skin, how they render background texture, the flares on them are super pretty. They really do have that 3-dimensional rendering that Cooke is famous for. And not only that, the mechanics are really great and nice that these have been modernized with Cooke's new system of cam followers. Not to mention iData, which is great if you are doing, virtual production, volume wall, all that data from your lens, t-stop, and distance is all going to be cataloged, which is fantastic. So, if you want to shoot on something that has a very vintage look, that's in a modern housing, but they're all consistent, you could rent these anywhere. These are gonna look great on literally anything you shoot that you want some character and some life in, whether that's corporate, commercial, music video, narrative. These things check all the boxes. So, if you haven't shot on these, do yourself a favor and do it. You will fall in love with them, guaranteed. We have these available for rent now at Northwest Camera. These are gonna run a little more expensive than some of our other lenses, but I promise it is well worth it. Pair these with any camera like a C500, even an FX9 Mini LF. It's going to look fantastic on any modern full frame sensor. So if you want to shoot these full frame versions on a Super 35 sensor, these are going to look a little bit more modern than putting them on a full frame sensor where you get to the edge of coverage and now you're starting to get all the fun characteristics that these are known for. But really easy to duplicate a different Cooke lens just by putting these on a Super 35 sensor, which is great. Come on in, check these out. You'll love them, I promise.